don't have that book, right?
Yeah. I have 8 chapters. Oh yeah, portion increased fast forward. We got a revised syllabus like a day or two before the exams.
But we had done most of it.
All the chapters we had just completed all the chapters. We had a total of 11 chapters or 10 chapters.
How do they revise before the exam?
They were like, we had uploaded it on the other website, you all should have checked it. Our school has 2 websites, Practically and My Class 4 Parent Portal. So they uploaded it on Practically, which was previously used for online classes. But no one uses it anymore, so what was the point of putting it over there?
So what all did you have?
All the chapters we had finished. So great, Genius, what was the chapter?
Yeah, Einstein.
Einstein, Little Girl, Fun They Had, and what was the other one? The chapter, the Sound of Music. Then we had 3 poems. The Rain on Roof, Wind, and Road Not Taken. And then from the other book, we had Ishwaran the Storyteller.
Have you done Ishwaran?
That's fine.
You managed?
It was such an easy chapter, nothing came from it.
Good.
Ishwaran, it was Toto and Lost Child. Okay, so total of 10 chapters.
Theory test.
Yeah, and the paper came out for 50 marks. We were expecting more because this time the papers are also going for checking into the other branches of crime. Our school became really professional for this exam for some reason. We have full-on answer keys printed, like model answers.
And they gave you the model answers or
no? It's only to the teachers and it will be discussed after the open house. But it was such an easy exam. Half the thing we had options in like all the questions we wanted to do. You can either do this question or that question, this passage or that passage.
Yeah, that's how it is.
It's so easy, and like they gave us an option between a passage which had 4 questions and the other which had 6 questions. I chose the 4 questions for the same amount of marks.
And then
descriptive paragraph came. I wrote a really nice paragraph about my best friend.
Okay, good. It was my best friend. I hope you could take few things from that.
Yes, I like the introduction and everything, and the closing about the nature. I took it from the passage.
Good. So it was an easy one. That's why usually either the friend or the grandmother is the favorite topic.
Oh,
grandmother or grandfather.
Other we had an option in the story, but it was if I ever became invisible. It would take a lot of time for me to think out a good story. So I was like, I'll take the easier route on this one.
Should we do the Ishwaran the Storyteller?
It's not coming in the next exam.
How?
I guess this book they are not taking in the next exam. They are taking other chapter. Let me confirm. I have the syllabus.
The next exam it will be what you have done so far plus.
Yeah, but they don't take all the chapters until the finals. They take like if there are 10 chapters, they'll take 5.
Yeah. First semester is usually unit test plus. And check both the websites.
I asked my teacher to send me pictures of the of the syllabus so that there is like no misunderstanding. And my mother was really upset. How could they just change the syllabus last moment? We got like 7 chapters in SST, and we did not know that was the case. Everything was taught in school, but the syllabus was much less. We were like, no, it was no. See, for a periodic test 2, we have Snake and the Mirror, My Childhood, The Kingdom of Fools, The Happy Prince. The poem, we have 3 poems again. No chapter is repeated. Only the finals, there is full book. The syllabus even says entire PT1, PT2, and PT3 syllabus. Really? Series of the syllabus says.
Why?
We just hope that we're going to score well when we do all of this. We can start with Snake and the Mirror then.
You have snake and the mirror. You have the lake of Innisfree. Can you tell me once again? Lake of
Yeah, wait, and then
the lake isle of Innisfree.
snake and the mirror. Then we have. Okay. Yeah, okay. My childhood something.
Yeah, my childhood.
Yeah.
And those the lake isle of Innisfree.
No.
A legend of Northland.
We have 4 chapters, 2 from each book and 3 poems. So they made
Each other 3 poems. Lake isle of
Lake
Innisfree.
Isle of Innisfree, Legend of Northland, and No Men Are Foreign.
So my childhood is there. The snake and the mirror is there. Truly beautiful mind is not there.
It is this exactly here.
Then what?
No,
Packing.
no, that's in other term. Teaching for the dog, Kathmandu, if I were you, the last sleep, a house not home. On killing trees, a slumber did my spirit sleep.
Okay, and then from this book you have
From what do you call it, moments, we have the happy prince and the kingdom of fools.
okay, and the kingdom of fools and the happy prince.
Love how the 80-mark syllabus is less than the 50-mark syllabus. Love how they do that to us all the time.
And that's weird.
Welcome to that.
You sure they won't have the previous ones? So the snake and the mirror. This is one of my favorite lessons. It's a very thrilling lesson. I sometimes like to start by telling the story of what this lesson is about. But in this case, I will not do that. So in this case, the snake and the mirror.
So sorry.
Do you like to look at yourself in the mirror?
Yeah.
What do you think about at such times?
What I could change on what I'm looking like right now. So if you do my hair differently, probably.
Or do you admire yourself? Oh my god, I look so good.
I wish I did that. That would be so nice.
So start doing that more often. Have you ever seen a dog, a cat, or a bird look into a mirror? What do you think it sees?
An enemy.
An enemy.
My nanny's cat looks at itself and starts scratching the mirror.
Oh.
So there is a part at the bottom of the mirror that has no mirror, just scratches.
Okay. So let's read the story. You can learn.
Has a snake ever coiled itself around any body part of your body? A full-blooded cobra? All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. Listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. It was a hot summer night, about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above. As I opened the door, the sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared a room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just entered medical practice and my earnings were meager. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase along with some shirts and dhotis. I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. I took off my black coat, white shirt, and a not so white vest and hung them up. I opened the 2 windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall.
You see here, gable means what? The tile roof, and you see the square part, the
triangular
rectangular
part.
part. Yeah.
There was no ceiling. There was a regular traffic of rats, and
To and from
the beam.
Okay, so it was this tapering roof, tile roof, or this part was the triangular part, and there were beams. So many times there are beams for the roof here to keep the tiles, and there are beams here also to support that triangular part.
As in,
Beams are those,
so going parallelly from this side to that side.
no, like this. This side to this side. This is the triangular part.
Okay, so
This is the roof.
yeah.
Okay. The roof starts from
On the
here.
roof, right? Or beneath the roof.
Yeah, beneath the roof. So this is the
Those big iron black blocks you're talking about, rods.
Yeah, they are usually made of wood.
Oh,
So this is
place it's made of iron.
So if this is the suppose this is the roof. Now I'm very bad at
It's okay.
drawing. So if this is the roof, they have these,
Okay, understood.
and then the tiles are fixed in this. You need a tile needs a frame, no?
Yeah.
So this is the square thing like this, and the tile is fixed in that.
Okay. The structural framework.
Yes. And then here also you have now here. ये ऐसे रूप हो गया यहाँ पे triangle आ गया. So you need one part something to fix here also. So there are beams, wooden beams here also, on which that square thing is fixed. Not square, triangular.
Yeah.
Is fixed.
Thank you for getting up and drawing.
Okay, I don't understand. So that is where the rats would run across.
I could not sleep there if that was me. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the air god seemed to have taken time off. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay inside the mirror. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is
Near what?
okay. Wait.
One feels
Near one. Okay. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. I took a look. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty and believed in making myself look handsome. I was unmarried and I was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence felt. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. Again, I heard that sound from above. I took a close look at my face in the mirror. I made an important decision. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face to look more handsome. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor on top of it.
And a doctor too on top of it.
Again came that dance from above. He's so obsessed with himself.
Yeah, a young man who's not married yet. You know these
doctor.
Yeah, he's a young bachelor and a doctor.
Oh my
God, education kahan hai? He was plus he's an attractive man. He's also handsome and a doctor.
He needs to write it down on his wall somewhere. I got up, paced up and down the room. Then another lovely thought struck me. I would marry. I would make my to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical.
And he's alone. Won't he dream about his future? He's thinking what he can do.
This is so fun. I love it. He's a bachelor and he wants to get married and he's handsome and a doctor. She had to be fat for a man to be. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. Why did I never find this chapter before? Oh God. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair in front of the table. There was no more sounds from above. Suddenly there came a dull thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Surely nothing to worry about. Even so, I thought I would turn around and take a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. The snake's landing on me and me turning were simultaneous. I didn't jump, I didn't tremble, I didn't cry out. There was no time to do any such thing. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled round my left arm and above my elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone, but my mind was very active. The door opened into darkness. The room was surrounded by darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. I felt then the great presence of the creator of this world and this universe. God was there. Suppose I said something that he did not like. I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my heart the words, "Oh God." There was some pain in my left arm. It was as if a thick leaded rod, laden rod, no, a rod made of molten fire was slowly but powerfully crushed my arm. The arm was beginning to be drained of all strength. What could I do? My slightest movement, the snake would strike me. Death lurked 4 inches away. Suppose it struck. What was the medicine I had to take? There were no medicines in the room. I was but a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. It seemed as if God appreciated that. The snake turned its head and looked into the mirror and saw its reflection. I do not claim that it was the first snake that had ever looked in the mirror, but it was certain that the snake was looking into the mirror. Was it admiring its own beauty? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? I did not know anything for certain. What sex was the snake? Was it male or female? I will never know. But the snake unwound itself from my arm unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. From there, it crept onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. I was no mere image cut in granite. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Still holding my breath, I got up from the chair. I quietly went out through the door into the veranda. From there, I leapt into the yard and ran for all I was worth. Each of us heaved a sigh of relief. Somebody asked, "Doctor, is your wife very fat?" "No," the doctor said. God willed otherwise. My life companion is a thin, greedy person with the gift of a sprinter. Someone else asked, "Doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you?" The doctor replied, "I ran and ran till I reached my friend's house. Immediately I smeared oil all over myself and took a bath. I changed into fresh clothes. The next morning about 8:30 I took my friend and 1 or 2 others to my room to move my things from there. What we found, we had little to carry. Some thief had removed most of my things. The room had been cleaned out, but not really. The thief left behind one thing as a final insult." "What was that?" I asked. The doctor said, "My vest, the dirty one." The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness. The rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. "Did you see the snake the next day, doctor?" The doctor laughed. I have never seen it since. It was a snake which was taken with its own beauty." Oh God. Halfway through the chapter, I know this is going to be a very good chapter because he's a bachelor, a doctor looking for a wife who needs to be fat and a doctor.
So that must have been some experience.
Definitely very scary.
Yes. Imagine you're sitting there in the night and this snake lands on you. On you. Even if it is there in the house, you can imagine how scared you will be.
You know, people have flight or fight responses. He just stood there still. I'm not a flight or fight person. I'm a scream person. Whatever happens, I start getting rowdy.
So, the thing is, they say when it's snake, you shouldn't move. Because if there is little movement,
it will feel threatening
and it will strike. So, you should remain very still. But luckily, this snake was not hungry. Also, probably. We don't know. Hopefully. It just slithered down and.
Where did the snake come from? I was confused.
See, when there are many rats.
Okay,
there are snakes.
Food chain,
yeah. So wherever there are many rats, there are snakes. So the snake had come in search of rats.
If that was me, I would be running, screaming, crying, throwing the snake away from me.
No, it won't go off, no? It is like if it has coiled itself, it won't come off.
My mother once, she used to live in the village.
Unless, you know if that person knows who will catch him and uncoil it.
Oh yeah, that's people who can be.
Yeah.
My mother was utterly terrified of snakes. But one fine day in my nanny's village, there's a lot of snakes in monsoon. So there was like a stack of rice kept, and my mother was given the task to coil the top with a rope. There was a brown rope that was, crumbled and kept away on a basket of potatoes. And beside it was a brown snake coiling itself like the rope.
Yeah.
It looked very similar, and my mother never knew she had specs until very late. So she has a very high number. She never knew in her childhood. She picked up the snake, coiled it around, and when she felt movement in her arms, all hell broke loose. Everybody in the house was running up and down. The snake was now coming on top of my mother's hand. Of course, it was hurt, right?
Yeah.
So scary, and ever since then, the whole pantry section of the house was closed off and then removed from the house, like broken down. That's scary.
Yeah, it happened once. I remember we have a row house, like my in-laws were there. So in that it was rainy season, and my daughter was very young then, and my mother said that I think she was carrying her. She was hardly not even a year old, maybe 7, 8 months old. So she carried her to the kitchen, and her friend had come. Last friend had come. They both were sitting there and chatting. I think something went slithering from my feet. I felt. But then she was so busy talking with her friend, she didn't pay much attention. She was like, "Arey, kuch to hoga, kuch to gaya, wo to laga." She had an nagging feeling that something slithered, something unusual. And even we have a row house, so it's like we have a front yard and a backyard. Here in Bashi only, not somewhere in the village Bashi. And so then when I came home, I was like a chicken. I don't know why. Luckily, my husband thought that let's see. She can say. And I can say, no, yours. Imagine.
Yeah.
Probably you're imagining what will be there. You look here and there, nothing was there in the kitchen. And my husband started looking for it. When he opened one of the kitchen drawers, he saw, you have a kitchen drawer where you have
the
plates to keep. It had coiled itself on the wall, one of the walls, there behind the plate, and it was sitting there. Well,
I could never step foot in that kitchen or eat anything.
No, then we covered it. We had some wooden plank, so we kept it there, and we called the fire brigade. And the fire brigade people came. They had some fork-like thing, and they came immediately. They came in 10 minutes time. And they caught it, put it in a basket, and then they take it and release it.
What about the kitchen that is contaminated now? Oh my god, this is such a weird feeling. My mother said she was waiting for an hour after, the snake was on her arm. She was absolutely petrified. She was like, if I die with it touching me, I'm not taking the risk. So everybody in the house was
I
just
don't
talking
have
about
my phone today, but then we have gone to this place, and this man was showing us this place in the midst of what do you call rainforest in Medicare. So the Taj Medicare, it is in the midst of rainforest. So you have like valley, rainforest, and they have built around it. Amazing place. So this person who was taking us around, showing us all the different, and then we were standing like literally, we are standing here. I'm standing here, and he's showing and looking at me. He said, just move a little, look on this side, on this side. I'm like, why? And he said, this is the branch. And he said, can you see here? There is a snake. But the branch was green. The snake had camouflaged itself green. Couldn't see. Then he showed, see this. And it was a viper.
Oh,
So that was the best experience, my first experience is like, and you said,
you're just casually looking around. Oh my god.
and they camouflage themselves so well, just can't make
I have this really irrational fear of snakes or reptiles in general.
Today I don't have the phone, I forgot my phone, otherwise I would have shown that picture. Then we went a little ahead and moved aside and started reading the picture.
I am like really scared of reptiles. So to work up my fear, we went to Kolkata for visiting my Mausi, and she took me to a reptile's house because she's really fond of reptiles. Like what do you call them? Those lizard-looking reptiles. She just likes them. So I was
chameleons and garden lizards.
It was a really big reptilian house. So it was like a huge house, bigger than a bungalow or something. And in the center was a well filled with crocodiles, and somebody would just climb down the ladders into a deep well feed the crocodiles. I was looking around, and the feeling of snakes in the aquarium itself, it freaked me out so much I had to run out and puke. I puked. It's just sticky, slithering things that freak me out. I have to call you.
This story about should we do the objectives first? Then it is easy for us to understand the question answers.
What would be the page number? 121, right?
No, I have to look on this.
My favorite MCQ. What big quality or qualities did the narrator think he had? He was handsome, he was a bachelor, he was a doctor, all of the above. All of the above, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Done?
Pretty easy.
Okay. Say. Again, this again, that's. Will it narrate another? I need some back to the same. Then what did the narrator do after coming to the room?
He laid the medicine.
Yes. What does the narrator say about the room where he lived? Not elected by small rented room, there were too many cats. Why did the narrator live in the small rented room? Earnings were meager. But why could the writer not sleep? Because it was very hot, because the rats were making a lot of noise.
He went to the veranda for fresh air and then the rats were making around.
One is what book did the narrator read? Let me get it. What does the narrator say he was admirer of beauty? Big quality or the what did he do with the comb? He ran it through his head and has just expired. What important decision did he make? Going to rather mustache and to keep an attractive smile on his face.
I'm going to read this chapter to my mother today. She's going to love it.
What sound did he hear while sitting on the chair? A dull thud or something falling to the ground? What was it that had fallen in the narrator's bag? Fat snake. What happened when the narrator turned around to see what had fallen there? A fat snake fell on the back of his chair. Landed on my shoulder. No, I turned. Then a fat snake wriggled over the back. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder.
And I landed on the chair and wriggled on
Yeah.
my shoulder. So,
Snake
the question is
from his shoulder to the
that
back.
cannot be.
How did the narrator react when he saw the snake on his head? He neither jumped nor trembled or cried. The snake What happened when the narrator saw a snake landing over on his shoulder? He was turned to stone. How did the narrator? But then the snake coiled around his leg.
Burning.
Yes, a lot, right? As if a lot of fire was rushing his arm. made of flesh and lying, sitting wrapped around by a snake. The doctor said, the presence of God. So now, here the question is, the sound was a familiar one. What sound did the doctor hear?
It was the sound of the
Rats
rats
running to and fro
at the beam of the
from the beam of the roof. What did he think it was?
He knew it was rats. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, he thought they were rats.
How many times did he hear it?
How many? Was it a number?
When and why did the sound stop? How many times he heard it? Twice? Traffic, there was a regular traffic of rats to and fro. I made my bed. I lay down, could not sleep. Then he went out.
So the noise stopped when he went out?
No, the noise stopped suddenly and then something fell. The noise probably stopped when the snake entered the room. Down the room, then another lovely thought. What have they written in that? Haven't they said in your volume? See, again I heard the sound from above.
The doctor heard the sound of the rats 3 times. The snake fell from the roof, the sound stopped, he ran. What did he think it was? The statement that he and the rats were housemates gives an impression that if the house was full of rats, the doctor was used to making rat noises, so he was not bothered about the house. And yeah, that sounds. They gave him 3 or 4 points.
See, 3 tries because see here on this page 57.
Yeah.
First, then here it says. I've heard the sound.
And then the last time when he thinks, yeah, he should start fighting.
Yeah. No, here again it says, no, again came that noise from above. So twice, and then suddenly it went quiet, and then a third. Suddenly there came a third. Okay, there were no more sounds from above. So
when the snake probably fell, the noise.
Or when snake entered the house to chase the rats.
That's what it says, guys. You're so intelligent.
What 2 important and earth-shaking decisions did the doctor make while he was looking into the mirror?
He decided to sleep but keep mustache.
So what important
and a smile on his face.
Yes.
Those were the earth-shaking decisions.
So I believed in making myself handsome.
Okay, the first important
attractive smile.
It was daily and grow a thin mustache and was to smile the way he was smiling when he was looking in the mirror. He thought
always leave that attractive smile on his face to look more handsome.
Not how he's so fixated on that. Earth shaking, definitely.
The important and earth-shaking.
Yeah,
one is that
mustache and second is smile.
Yeah. I looked into the mirror and smiled, says the doctor. A little later, he says, I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. What is the doctor's opinion about himself when he first smiled?
Okay, the first time it was he was really admiring himself, and he thought that this smile really looks good on him, and he should smile it off.
made him look handsome.
Okay. Noted.
He smiles again. In that way, do his thoughts change in between?
He smiled feebly, so therefore he felt stupid and foolish while smiling the second time because the snake was coiled around his arm.
And he thought he would probably.
Oh yeah, he thought he would die.
Yeah.
Yeah, his life was in danger.
Life was in danger. The kind of person the doctor is, money and possessions.
He's poor.
Okay, he was poor.
No, the doctor was just beginning his practice probably because he did not have much money.
Yes, he had just begun his medical practice and therefore his earnings were meager.
And the second is his possessions were one of his was a few shirts, dhotis, a very dirty old vest, and a black coat that he used every day.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yeah, that's it. The kind of person he wants to be.
he wants to be handsome, he wants to be married, and he wants to be people to perceive him as attractive.
Now, here it says that write short paragraphs on each. So this is, you need to elaborate a little more.
Okay, so the way he wants to look like, right? He wants to shave off his he wants to shave regularly and keep a thin mustache. He wants to keep an attractive smile on
What
his
did?
face.
Should pass.
He wanted to keep an attractive smile on his face because that made him look good. As he was an attractive doctor who was also a bachelor. He wanted to marry some. Oh yeah, he wanted to marry someone of the same profession and who was a little fat for a specific reason. That was his ambition and what he wanted.
The person he wants to marry.
He wants to marry a doctor, a fellow doctor who
With lots of money.
Lots of money. And was also a little fat, so that if he would make some foolish mistake and run off, she wouldn't be able to catch him or run after him.
So a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. The person he actually marries.
He was the same, like he married his description, right?
No, he married a thin.
At the end of the chapter, it says,
Yeah, it says, see, my life companion is a thin, reedy person. Thin, reed-like person. A reedy person with a gift of a sprinter. She can run fast.
So it was completely contrary of what he had mentioned previously. His life partner actually came to be a very thin woman who could in fact run very fast.
His thoughts when he looks into the mirror.
He was appreciating his good look.
Yeah, he appreciated his good looks. He
And
thought he's a very handsome man.
He also combed his hair properly so that it made him look more attractive and parted it neatly. He made towards shaking life decisions.
I mentioned those.
Yeah.
His thoughts when the snake is coiled around his arm.
His thoughts were what medicine he'd use, right? Yeah, the what medicine he would use, and then he realized he had no medicine because he was poor.
Yeah, there was no medicines in that. And then he felt okay. He also felt the presence of God. He thought he would write "Oh God" on his heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically, he hate Bhagwan on his heart, right? Because in the translated story.
Yes, definitely.
That's why that makes more sense.
More sense.
Oh God. Nobody would say that. Oh God. Oh.
Hi Ram, hey Ram. God knows what would you think?
Oh God.
I still remember we had a school trip. I had gone with my family, and it was we were in this one of the roller coaster rides, and the biggest one. And she, as it started going up, she started chanting. She was Muslim, so she started saying some whatever it is called, those two lines. She uttered and she said, "Okay, now I'm safe." And I'm like, "अब मैं क्या बोलूं?"
I have so much I can speak right now. Can we take a lot of time?
I don't know any such thing. मैं किसका नाम लूं? कितने सारे हैं? I want to say it for me also. I will answer it.
You know that in hockey before a match, our captain is Muslim. So she makes we tell us सबके नाम की दुआ पढ़ना चालू करेगा. सबके नाम की दुआ पढ़.
I still remember.
Okay, that I don't know anything. You tell me. You do it for me.
She said, no, something.
It's so funny though. On a roller coaster, she's pregnant for her life.
And I'm like, I don't know ऐसे कुछ होगा. Okay. What is this in the sentence given below? Some words and expressions are itemized. They are various mean.
I turned the stone.
Yeah, it's very frightening. Let's talk about it. I sat there holding my breath. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a statue.
No. A good student. That's what you should say. Never laugh.
Like the stone image. Like the stone image.
Okay.
Just above paragraph 8. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. Stone image in the flesh.
What's the question you keep that sentences with below some words and expressions to the right hand side? Yeah, maybe speak.
Mean that one is very frightened, is too scared.
What does it mean? I don't get it. So other than to say whatever this
Where are these itemized
exactly
words? In the
chapter.
in the chapter?
But chapter has nothing that
Yeah.
size. Yeah, the chapter is not in that size.
Sentences given below.
Oh, below.
Below. Match the meaning of the word and expression in italics and write the appropriate meaning next to the sentence. I knew a man was following me. I was scared out of which. So out of which? Out of
Okay, so basically that's the meaning.
the first one has been done. Very frightened. Yeah. Out of which means very frightened. I got a fright when I realized how close it was to the cliff edge. I got a
It's
fright.
frightened by something that's happened suddenly.
Yes. He nearly jumped out of his skin.
I'm scared.
Too scared to. You really gave me a fright when you crept up behind me like that. Make another feel frightened.
Yeah.
Wait until I tell his story. It will make your hair stand on end.
It's very frightened.
Paralyzed with fear.
Too scared to move.
The boy hid behind the door, not moving a muscle.
Too scared to move.
So these are the different phrases. To not move a muscle, paralyzed with fear, make your hair stand on end. Oh. And what? To give a fright.
All of these are basically the same thing. Yeah. It's a bit hospital ones.
Okay, let me ask you some more questions. You understood the story?
Yeah. It was a fun story. I liked it.
In that case, let's write at least one question.
Yes, let's do that. I'm trying to grow fond of writing a lot because I seem to get very sleepy and dizzy while writing exam. I slept in my computer exam half. It was just a 25-mark paper, which was for 2 hours. So I could sleep, I had a good nap and woke up and wrote the final answer. It was a 5-mark question and I was too exhausted to write it. Luckily, the person sitting in front of me was my friend, so he reminded me that you need to write this answer. Well, when I wrote it, I submitted my paper in advance because I was like, I'm going to take a nap, so ma'am, you should probably take the paper. She took it and I slept for the rest of the day.
Okay, you write one. What two important decisions did the doctor make?
What two important decisions did the doctor
Make. What two important decisions did the doctor make?
Another question or just this?
For now, you write this, then I'll give you another one.
This question will be for how many marks?
You have 2 marks questions.
The paper did not have like 6 marks. It only had a 5-mark question and 2 5-mark questions, and we had option in choosing 3. So I chose the first 2. They were very easy. It was just one question that I did not answer.
You wrote it.
I wrote in paras and then I underlined what was important. I'm doing that in every exam now. That makes the paper look so pretty somehow. This one's enough.
Yeah. Now read this answer, question F. Okay. we discussed what you just said, one line. So this is a brief answer.
The words are very complex, but I
So
understand.
you can simplify the answer.
But I like how you can frame this so well. When will I learn how to do this? I've been writing answers for so long.
Yeah. So you can write this answer. Maybe read it once or twice, and if we have time, write it now. Otherwise, just learn it one answer.
We have
5 minutes, right? So in that time, maybe learn it and ask you all it.
what is self-adulation?
Self-adulation is praising oneself.
Okay.
So you can write a simple word. He was in love with himself. He enjoyed.
He admired his own
admired his
beauty.
own beauty. Yeah.
What is feebly though? I never understood.
Feeble. Feebly, the smile. Feebly means in a weak smile. Feeble is weak.
Okay, I understood the answer.
You
Should I
understood?
tell you?
Yes.
When the first time the doctor looked at himself, he rated himself quite high in looks and was admiring himself in the mirror. He was really impressed with the way he looked and thought that he deserves to stay well groomed with a thin mustache and a big smile on his face. While in danger, he looks in the mirror and smiles at himself feebly as he realizes his shortcomings and understands how despite being a doctor he does not have medications in the room for emergencies like a snake bite. He looks in the mirror and smiles feebly as he accepts the vain folly and stupidity in himself.
Yes.
I took the fancy words.
As he realized how stupid he had been, and his good looks would not have
saved him from the danger.
Yes. So that was the answer. There was one more question.
Yes.
What kind of woman did the doctor want to marry? What does it show about his character? And what kind of wife, did he eventually get?
The doctor wanted to marry a rich doctor with lots of money, and he wanted
a good medical practice.
With good medical practice, he wanted her to be fat, as he did not want her to be able to run after him when he made some foolish mistake. What does this show about his character? This shows his sheer stupidity. That's how it reflects.
That he was a little
Immature. It reflects on his immaturity and how he was not aware about I'm trying to say something and I cannot form it
So this
basically he did not know how to present himself properly because he sounded foolish. How do I say that?
you can say that he was
not very
self-reflective. He was also materialistic. He was a little materialistic because he thought about money
and
which I would settle. So
I just enjoy money.
So he that made him look materialistic and little immature also.
Yeah, he was not very self-reflective because he did not have any of those things at that time. Not money, not a good practice. He was very dirty West. Come on, you can't complain right now.
So he was materialist, immature. Yeah, you can remember these two words and frame your sentence.
What kind of a wife did he eventually get? He got a very thin wife who had the ability to run very fast, which adds to the humor of the story, as it is quite ironic how he wanted something else and got the complete opposite. That's a good enough answer. I can write it very well then.
Doctor's opinion, how it changed, that we just wanted you to write. What kind of room doctor was living in?
He was living in an old room filled with rats with no electricity. The room did not have many possessions other than his few clothes, 60 rupees, and a very dirty old dress.
Old rented house. Yeah, it was old rented. And why did he decide to leave that room?
Because of the incident of the snake.
After
coming face to face with the snake, he decided to leave the room
as it was not safe to live in that.
And very miserable for someone to be living through that. One can only imagine to be in the place of the doctor right now.
So we don't have much actually for portion remaining.
Yeah.
We
can practically complete the entire syllabus in the coming 2 months. That's how fast we're going. And it's surprising how well my exam went, thinking about how fast we completed the syllabus.
Because you're the only one we can revise, we can discuss. It's like
question actually really helped. About the wind. The question of the wind was very metaphorical, and they were asking about how we should build strong houses, join doors firmly, and we had to interpret it. And it really helped. The revision helped for the wind. Thank you, Mom.
Bye.
Bye.